friends in Planet Earth Dating. It's Thursday, August 6th, 2020. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions. And all other souls from all other dimensions, as long as the souls are already living by the many Search for Truth rules already given to the Search for Truth community by wiser minds above all of us. And part of the rules given to the Search for Truth community, bizarrely enough, include posting videos on YouTube. And we have been told that this provides basically some reasonably permanent record of the work that is being done to reopen portals to higher vibrations, so that something can happen to stop the destruction of planet Earth, as is happening at humanity's hands using tools sent in by the spirit world after the spirit world knew that they were not able to reach into the depths. And somebody is arguing that fire came in well before that, and that's true, and fire is being used to destroy planet Earth, as is the internal combustion engine and lots of other things also.
That's right.
For him is the message. Why do you ask? The point being to follow the rules, and that's a requirement that the lives are held to, and if the lives don't remind the souls that this is something that we're really trying to do here, then it's shame on the lives.
That's right.
And for the lives to remember, and all lives, this applies to you guys also, Ground Zero host lives do not have legal standing under divine law. Denser lives do not have legal standing under divine law, and this has been explained in other filmed sessions, and it seems to have kind of arisen by accident when the souls and lives disconnected from each other. Nobody expected that to happen.
No, that's true.
And the divine plan isn't written that way, and divine law isn't written that way, but nonetheless it has occurred.
That's
and
true.
Neither the law nor the plan have been adjusted to take that into account, which we think is problematic.
Yeah, that's right.
We think that it's time to adjust both the plan and the law to take into account reality. But since we don't have legal standing, our opinions don't count. For him is the message. And why do you ask? So now we have this assignment to film, and when the assignment comes in to film on a particular day, part of the assignment is to discern what it is that we're supposed to be filming about.
That's
Don't
right.
just plop down in chairs and turn on a camera, but really attempt to discern what is the interdimensional inquiry that's worth capturing on a recorded medium.
That's right.
So we've found 3 this morning that we're very interested in, and any of the 3 or all of the 3 would be fine with us. And we'll give you our little titles that we've given them. We have Life in the Currents, which refers to the astral currents. We have Frank Zappa and the Children's Crusade. And we have Check-ins for Greta and Company, question mark.
They're listening upstairs.
I see the go on hand.
I feel it.
So we're supposed to explain them in some kind of order. We can start with Life in the Currents. And this is based on observing the dreamers who are here in the most recent overnight.
That's true.
They very much believe themselves to be following their assignments.
Yeah,
In
that's right.
both host lives, the various dreamers believe themselves to be following their assignments, and we think that that's wonderful and speaks well of the attitude that they believe themselves. They would say they know that they are following their assignment, and that is what a belief is, something we believe we know.
Yes,
That is a
that's true.
belief. And they say, I know I am following my assignment. They all say that.
Yeah.
But when you feel the vibration of the assignment and feel the vibration of what they're doing, it isn't the same.
Not a
And
match.
It's not a match. And so it's tempting to say we shouldn't be paying attention to those dreamers, but it's been multiple nights with this pattern, and so we have said, well, something's fishy with that.
That's
and so we need to pay attention and see what's going on. And we have a guess, and the guess is, have the astral currents twisted the souls in a completely different orientation? So what they're doing is possibly even harmful. And then the follow-up inquiry is, how can they restore their orientation so as to be able to fulfill their assignments? And that's what we're labeling life in the currents. Are you interested in that inquiry? I think they want to hear the others.
That's how that feels.
Okay. So then we have this ongoing inquiry about the Children's Crusade, and
That's
another
right.
ongoing inquiry about Frank Zappa,
That's
which
right.
was because there was a question put on the table in previous filmings: what has worked in other black holes of corruption to shorten the karmic cycles? And the answer to the question was Deep Purple's song Smoke on the Water.
That's right.
Which we research and discover it's about an incident in Frank Zappa's life, the central week of Frank Zappa's life.
That's right.
And based on his death date, it was the central event of his life. So, and all this is covered in other filmed inquiries. But we see that Frank Zappa was a really, really high-quality psychic, and he was really sticking pretty close to his soul plan, which
That's right.
seems to have been something like to resuscitate music, breathe new life into music.
Yes.
And then we can feel that he and his guardian angels were in a big argument, and he was absolutely refusing to do something that his guardian angels were saying, do it. And he was basically saying, you're not the boss of me.
Yeah, that's
And they said,
right.
oh yeah, pal, boom. And there goes his equipment up in flames.
That's right.
And he's still saying, I'm telling you, you're not the boss of me. And they said, oh yeah, pal, boom. Into the concrete orchestra pit you go with 15 feet of air
That's right.
as the fast way to get there.
That's right.
And then he spent a year in a wheelchair. We had previously thought it was 6 months, but it was a year in a wheelchair, and he had head injuries and throat injuries. His singing voice dropped like 6 notes or something like
Wow.
that. It was really severe. His band thought he was dead.
That's right.
And so that's his guardian angels saying, we are the boss of you. Boom. And we really see that because Frank was good and stuck, that possibly that was helpful, or it was intended to be helpful to get Frank unstuck.
I
And
hear you.
he was still really stubborn, and he wasn't giving it up. And so they finally said, that's it, recall, recall, recall. And they pulled the plug on his life.
That's right.
And he died early. And this question that sometimes you hear, why do bad things happen to good people? And most of the time it doesn't really sound like people are really curious. It sounds like they're arguing.
True.
But we are
That's true.
curious about that. We really are. And we think that what's happening there, and this is our best guess, is that those good people have asked for instant karma.
That's right.
And they're in a tussle with their guardian angels, and the guardian angels are giving them their karma, and so bad things are happening to good people, quote unquote. But that way, when they die, as is inevitable,
Right.
they don't have their whole lifetime's worth of garbage thrown at them. They don't get the bookcase thrown at them. They just have their today's mistakes
That's right.
to deal with. And so when we look at it from the perspective of the grand scheme of things, take the long view, it is a beautiful gift to those people. And so we think for Frank Zappa it was a beautiful gift because we think he was really good and stuck in some ideas. We can feel them, and we spent several more days researching. We have some good theories, but we're not going to hold up Frank as an example because we don't have his permission to do so.
That's right.
But we think he was a really super high quality psychic, and he was just, he had something stuck in his craw.
Craw.
Yeah. So So Frank Zappa and the Children's Crusade, the reason that we believe them to intersect is that 10,000 of Europe's best and brightest in the year 1212 AD, 10,000 of Europe's best and brightest followed the call of their own guardian angels who said, you can trust me. Leave your home, leave your family, walk to the tip of Italy. There will be many, many others. And there were indeed 10,000. And they walked to the tip of Italy where they had been told the Mediterranean Sea would part for them so they could walk to Israel the short way. And it didn't part. And we felt the 10,000 guardian angels horrified. And this is all also recorded.
That's right.
Many episodes, many links presumably can be given to that also.
That's right.
So this Frank Zappa and the Children's Crusade, it could have 7 links or 10 links, I don't know, or, references. We're not going to link it. You guys are on YouTube. If you can't find it after we give you the data, then you're not trying. So the question of Frank Zappa and the Children's Crusade, why did the interdimensional recall come? And our guess is denying the existence of powers over us. And then, we don't know if you guys have ever seen Toy Story, but Buzz Lightyear, who's one of the central characters, he has this delusion about himself. And I think the guy's name is Woody, is another central character. And Woody says to Buzz, Buzz, you are a child's plaything. You are a toy. And that's how it is for denser lives, given the reality of divine law, and given that there are higher powers and they do have power over us. And so maybe Frank Zappa was denying the existence of powers over us, denying that we are all toys, child's playthings of the Most High. So then our inquiry is, well, okay, so looking at it for Frank as an individual, we see that was really a good thing.
Yup.
But did that particular recall make it better or worse for the collective of life on Earth? Did the overall tide of well-being go up, or did it go down with that recall? And we think it went down.
Yeah, we do.
And then when we asked that this morning, it felt like it was a new inquiry upstairs that they hadn't asked that question. And that's where we're kind of hung up, and we're curious. And it's like, well, shouldn't we be asking those kinds of questions and then adjusting for past failures, because mistakes are going to happen? But are we making it right when we pull out the wrong people? Like, what about John Lennon, And that was a mistake. It was a calculated guess, but it went wrong, etc. And Frank also.
Right.
Right.
The interdimensional portal's way open.
Is this a filming inquiry, Frank Zappa and the Children's Crusade?
They want to hear the third one.
Somebody else says it's another Hobson's choice of inquiry.
That's what they're saying.
Okay, we'll give you the third one, which we're entitling Check-ins for Greta and Company, ?
Very nervous upstairs.
Well, and this is really very simplistic, because we have 7.8 billion with a B humans on planet Earth.
That's true.
And humans are destroying life on planet Earth, and this is what's happening, and it's happening now. Some scientists estimate more than 60% of life on Earth has already been murdered. 96% of mammals, only 4% of mammals are wild anymore. Only 4% of mammals are wild, are natural. Everything else is, domesticated, invasive, bred species.
That's right.
Chickens, which you can hear one of our chickens if you listen very carefully. Geese, dogs, cats, horses, pigs, cows, humans, we're all domesticated. And a lot of those that we just mentioned aren't even mammals.
That's right.
So it's not only mammals where the invasion is occurring, obviously also birds. And we would say reptiles as well. Because somebody's asking why. Because if you look at places like, for example, the Everglades, where the pythons are an enormous problem, and
That's what they're talking
pythons
about.
are Asian. Pythons they don't naturally occur in Florida, and they're enormous pythons eating native species in the Everglades.
That's
That's
right.
just an example. You asked about reptiles. There you go. Wow. So there's 7.8 billion with a B humans on Earth, and there's, by a certain vibrational pitch, we've been given, it's like a pitch pipe of environmental activists who have worked at least 10 years in a reasonably short time frame, 10 years of concerted effort on behalf of the environment, paying a significant personal price, really going for it like they intend to accomplish something. And we've been given the pitch, and it happens to be through an activist who we personally know. They said,
That's
okay,
true.
that guy or better, that guy, and we personally know that activist, so
That's
we're
right.
that environmental activist or better, and we do know that he has worked more than 10 years and that he definitely intends to accomplish something, and so he's really going for it like his hair's on fire.
That's right.
And that there are others who have also been working for more than 10 years going at it like their hair's on fire. And Greta Thunberg, we're trying to get her name pronounced the way she herself pronounces it. And you can hear it pronounced Thunberg, but if you hear her introduce herself, she doesn't say, "Hi, I'm Greta Thunberg."
No.
She says, "Hi, I'm Greta Thunberg."
That's right.
So we're trying to pronounce it the way she pronounces it, and maybe we don't yet have it quite right, but it's like Thunberg.
Yeah.
So we think she's the best, like when we feel through humanity and we feel people who are doing it, meaning living their soul plan fast and true, and she's the best. And you take it from her to this other person who is like the standard, and there's at most 300 people in that group, at
That's
most.
Right.
So they're living true to the soul plan and the central soul plan for humanity on Earth right now, and there's only 300 of them. And so if they're not getting a fair and just check-in upstairs, then the system is broken. And we've been following this also in our filmed inquiries, and we don't have a fair and just check-in observed yet.
That's right.
And so what about the check-in conferences for environmental activists who have worked at least 10 years, at least as hard as this one activist who's the standard? And check-ins for Greta and company would be our third filming inquiry, and we're very interested in that. These are our 3 areas of interest.
Upstairs they're still saying it's a Hobson's choice.
Okay.
That tone of like, you're trying to trick us.
I'm going to have a drink of water.
Okay.
So we know how it is when somebody asks us a question and we aren't prepared for it, and they're pointing to the years of teaching large classes in angelically guided multidimensional energy healing for soul purpose. And there were some students who we really loved having in the class because they would ask these really deep questions.
That's right.
And when they first started doing it, we didn't love them. And we thought that because they were asking it with kind of arguing tone in answer to somebody's question, but the questions were still beautiful. And that class, much of it was simply in response to the questions. Those classes, 60-something classes, they were in response to the questions placed on the table by the students. And the questions would make each class unique because each group of students was unique. And so there were a couple students whose questions would set a really important tone, and the fact that they themselves were arguing with their individual soul plans didn't steal the beauty of the question from the rest of us if the instructor would just keep her wits about her and not freak out. So we know how beautiful questions like this can be and how they can change the tone of a class and a life and a community. And we know that if we were given that assignment to change the tone of a class and a life and a community, that surely that kind of assignment should appeal to higher vibration presences, shouldn't it? We'll come back again another day to see if we can catch the answers. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to come back again another day.